Here's your news for August 26, 2020. And your headlines for today include big breaking news as Wade Barrett is returning to WWE. Why Keith Lee's entrance music was changed. Keith Lee strongly reacts. WWE issues statement on Abhorrent virtual fan videos. Cody Rhodes off AEW television for extended period of time. Reason revealed. Raw Underground statements that didn't make the air revealed. Update on in-ring return of Samoa Joe. Sonya Deville received threats to finish the job her Stalker started. WWE wrestler shows off nasty head wound following Retribution attack on WWE Raw. Nick Aldis comments on rumors that WWE exec Bruce Prichard is burying his wife Mickie James. What's really going on with Roman Reigns and Randy Orton, and more. We are kicking off with some big news from NXT as Wade Barrett will return to WWE tonight to provide commentary. That's according to Ryan Satin, and Barrett has recently worked as a commentator in the NWA under real name Stu Bennett after Jim Cornette left the company last year. It's worth noting that the NWA hasn't been producing any shows in recent months due to the ongoing situation, and though tonight's appearance is a one-off gig and there's no contract between WWE and Barrett, it could lead to something bigger. After winning Season 1 of the reality show version of NXT, Barrett worked with WWE before leaving in 2016 and went on to pursue a career in acting. Mauro Ranallo was absent from NXT TakeOver 30 and was replaced with Vic Joseph, who worked alongside Corey Graves and Beth Phoenix, and we'll have to see how Barrett fares behind the NXT announcer's desk. Over to Raw now, and Aleister Black turned heel, and now we know why. On the show, Black returned following being written off TV with an eye injury caused by Seth Rollins, but instead attacked Kevin Owens, hitting the former Universal Champion with Black Mass. After previously writing how the company have wanted to change Black's character in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer took to Observer Radio this week and explained this heel turn further, saying, "Kevin Owens needs an opponent because originally he was supposed to face Seth, but Ray signed, so now Kevin Owens needs an opponent. So now Kevin Owens has an opponent." Given the prizefighter's talent both in the ring and on the mic, it's clear why the company feels he needs to be in a feud. And with Rollins occupied with the Mysterios, we'll have to see how things go with the freshly heel Aleister Black. This week's Raw also saw the main roster call-up of Keith Lee, though fans weren't pleased with what they saw. Despite interrupting a Randy Orton promo and having a match against the Viper set for Payback, fans took to social media to blast Lee's new music and ring gear, which admittedly are changes for the worse. On Twitter, Lee said that the music is out of his hands, but asked fans to have patience, saying that he'll handle both his music and his ring gear. It's been previously reported that WWE are urging talent to ditch music produced by CFO Dollar as they signed a terrible deal with the publisher, which means the publisher gets half their royalties. WWE doesn't have the same deal with Jim Johnson, which explains why many of those songs were changed in recent years, and it's also being noted that some superstars hated the music presented to them as replacements, with some rejecting the idea of changing their music outright. When one fan said Lee didn't have to answer any questions about these changes, the Limitless one agreed, but said it was his way of respecting those who've supported him. Patience is a virtue not commonly associated with wrestling fans, so hopefully it won't be too long until things change for the better. This week's Raw was the first edition of the Red Brand from the Thunderdome, and once again, some fans acted inappropriately. During the show, one fan put up an image of Chris Benoit, and the show also saw fans dressed in KKK robes, though both were quickly cut off as soon as the company noticed. Now WWE has addressed these matters in a public statement, saying, "This abhorrent behavior does not reflect WWE's values, and we have zero tolerance for these unacceptable acts. We are working to ban those involved from future events, and per our policies, any inappropriate actions result in the removal from the live stream." It's a shame that a small minority of fans are ruining the Thunderdome experience, especially after months of no fans, and hopefully the WWE will be able to get this situation under control. Over to AEW now, and after being squashed by Brody Lee this week, fans won't be seeing Cody Rhodes for a while. A report by PW Insider is noting that Cody will be off TV for an extended period to sell Lee in the Dark Order's attack, and added, The timing may have something to do with Star's Heels series going into production in Georgia, as Stephen Amell specifically asked Cody to take part in the series when Amell's casting was announced last year. The timing certainly matches up. Cody and Amell have already hyped Cody's Heels appearance on Twitter, and fans of the pair will remember Cody on Arrow and Amell feuding with Stardust in WWE. AEW will provide an update on Cody's condition on this Thursday's edition of Dynamite, which has been moved due to the NBA playoffs, but don't expect Rhodes to be having a TNT title rematch anytime soon. Speaking of the TNT title, fans will remember Mike Tyson showing up at Double or Nothing to present the gold and also re-sparking his feud with Chris Jericho on the following Dynamite. Since then, the boxing legend hasn't been in AEW, but according to Jericho himself, who spoke on his Saturday night special, the company is still talking with Tyson, and they'll figure out his return one way or another. Tyson's fight against Roy Jones Jr. was recently pushed back from September 12th to November 28th, though it's possible this date could also change. We'll have to see if AEW can convince the WWE Hall of Famer to make a return, as after making headlines with his last appearance, a Tyson-Jericho match would be a huge score for the company. Back to Raw now, and though fans saw segments from Raw Underground, there were plans to do a lot more. Fightful Select reports that WWE nixed a segment featuring members of the Four Horsewomen of MMA, including having both Jessamyn Duke and Marina Shafir take out enhancement talent with ease. Both of these fights in the Underground were filmed, but weren't aired, and neither did a fight between Titus O'Neil and Riddick Moss. Though a fight with Ivar and Dolph Ziggler was advertised and apparently taped, with Angel Garza getting involved, it wasn't aired either, and it's currently unclear why so many segments failed to make it to TV. We've got Samoa Joe news next, as there's been speculation on where his career will go next. Joe previously worked as a Raw commentator before returning to the ring, but after getting injured again, returned to the desk and has remained there ever since. During Wrestling Observer Radio, a fan asked Dave Meltzer if Joe was finished as an active superstar, and responded that WWE originally saw Joe as too valuable a talent to keep behind the desk, but obviously minds have changed since then. The fact that Joe suffered multiple concussions in quick fashion doesn't help him, as the company takes those seriously. And whilst he still may not be competing in the ring, the fact that Joe is on commentary is still a good thing. We've got an update regarding Sonya Deville, as disturbing details about her attempted kidnapping have come to light. Last week, police caught Philip Thomas on Deville's property, who admitted that he'd been planning to kidnap the SmackDown superstar for months, and DMs from Thomas following the incident showed he'd also threatened Mandy Rose. Deville's ex-girlfriend Ariana Johnson also received threatening messages from Thomas, with both women qualifying as victim or witness at risk of harm in legal documents. And Heel by Nature reports that Deville was granted a motion to seal evidence, including personal information such as her address. Though her problems with Thomas are over, Deville has received additional threats from unknown persons who have said, "I'll finish the job that Philip started," and "My knife is sharper than Philip's." Following her SummerSlam Loser Leaves WWE match loss, Deville is off TV, with her .com profile being moved to the alumni page, and though her attorney made sure she showed up to the hearings with a full head of hair, hopefully Deville will return when this matter is resolved. Back to Raw, and this week's show saw Rey Mysterio be attacked in vicious fashion by Retribution, leaving the former world champion with a bloody wound on his head. In a tweet, Mysterio referenced the group with a photo of himself to let fans know that he's okay, despite the wound, which will hopefully heal up fast. Fans who watched Raw didn't notice Rey's blood because of his mask, and though he was in a lot of pain during the attack, it thankfully wasn't as bad as it could have been. Rey also showed the inside of his mask and the bloody mess the attack left behind, and clearly things aren't finished between Retribution and Rey or his son Dominic. One person who had a slightly better time on Raw is Randy Orton, who brawled backstage with Drew McIntyre but did miss a kick that got plenty of attention. On Instagram, Matt Jackson poked some fun at the Viper, saying it was a sweet landing but he didn't hit anybody, and asked Orton to say hi to some of his friends from the independent scene, including Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn, who he referred to as El Generico. It's interesting that Jackson would reference these names, as several WWE superstars reportedly contacted AEW out of interest, and there was also recently a claim that Cody Rhodes sent out emails to inquire with superstars if they were interested in joining AEW. Now, Mickie James recently returned to WWE TV after over a year away, but this return hasn't gone according to plan. In her first match back, James lost via countout, a finish she herself said she was disappointed in. But when her husband and reigning NWA World Champion Nick Aldis was asked about her return, he had plenty to say. When one fan asked if Aldis thinks that Bruce Prichard, who once said Aldis lacked the it factor to be in WWE, is burying James out of spite, Aldis said fans are smart enough to recognize Mickie's talent and that she doesn't need them to fight her battles. Since returning in 2016, James is yet to hold any championship gold at all, though who knows what the future will bring for her now that she's back. Over to Roman Reigns now, who returned at SummerSlam and has had something of an online feud with Randy Orton lately. After Orton poked fun at Roman's dental work, Ringside News are reporting that this isn't an angle and that these comments are just a rib for everyone to see. It was also described that the two are, quote, old school boys due to both being multi-generational superstars, and that it's a half shoot, meaning that they're not heated at each other until one crosses the line. It's highly likely that this won't lead to a fight either on or off air, as the duo are both locker room leaders and are just having fun. And we're ending today with Triple H, who has praised Renee Paquette following her WWE departure. Online, the game said that Renee has been an amazing talent and will succeed in whatever's next for her. And given the former commentator's many skills, we can't help but agree with the King of Kings.